The quadratic formula is very much just recognizing the terms and plugging it into the right spot, substituting into the correct places in the formula. The quadratic formula. You have to have this memorized. We proved this in class, but you basically just need to know how to use it. When you look at this, your first term is always going to be a. So a equals 3. B is positive 4. So b equals 4. And c is negative 1. Make sure you use the preceding sign to give your positive or negative values. So I have a is 3, b is 4, c is negative 1. So I'm going to use this formula to say x equals negative 4, negative b, plus or minus the square root. B squared is 16. 4 squared is 16. This term will always be positive, so just keep that in mind. Minus 4, because that's what's in the formula, times a times c. So 4 times 3 times negative 1. And then all of this is divided by 2 times a, which in this case a is 3, so 2 times 3. Now, once you look at this, some common mistakes that people make. Number 1, they'll only divide this part. Make sure that you divide the entire numerator by 2 times a. Another mistake that people make is they forget that this is negative b. Make sure that you follow the formula exactly as it's written. And another common mistake is people will not do this operation correctly, and you'll miss this sign. Right now we have 16, and the way that I think of this is I think of plus a negative 4. I always think of that 4 as being negative. So I'm going to write this down, negative 4 plus or minus the square root of 16 plus negative 4 times 3 is negative 12, and negative 12 times negative 1 makes this whole term a positive. Just remember to do these operations correctly to come up with the right sign. And this is still all of it divided by 2 times 3, or 6. Now at this point we just have to simplify all of this. And you get x equals negative 4 plus or minus the square root. 16 plus 12 is 28. And the whole numerator is divided by 6. Now once you get here, people are tempted to divide within this radical. People might want to divide by 2. But you have to remember that right now the radical, you can't simplify inside of it. You can only simplify once it's been taken to the outside. And so you look to see if there are any perfect squares that are factors of 28. In this case there are. You have 4 times 7. And 4 times 7 is 28, and the reason why I picked that is because 4 is a perfect square. So I can factor out 2 times 2, the square root of 4 is 2, and I'm left with the square root of 7 divided by 6. Now that I have everything on the outside of the radical, okay, now I can simplify, and I can divide all of these terms by 2. And when I divide negative 4 by 2, I get negative 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. So my final answer for this question is going to be x equals negative 2 plus or minus 1 square root of 7, but you don't have to write the 1, divided by 3. And that will be my answer.